Is anyone else starting to miss the freeze? Yes, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Happy beer time. Cheers, everyone. A little mishap with the beer this week. Because I basically couldn't be bothered going out and buying it for myself, the wife put it on the shopping order from Morrison's, and she says, "Oh, there's a deal on with Heineken. Shall I get you? Shall I, like a 2-for-1?" So I said, yes. She failed to check the can size. This is this. I didn't even know that they did beer in thimbles, but apparently they do. What is the point of a can of beer that size? I ask you. What do I look like, a leprechaun? I mean, for crying out loud. So, excuse me while I top up from the second can. Yes. Ridiculous. It's just, it's a thimble. Couldn't even bath me big toe in that. Anyway, such is life. Hello, everyone. As you can see, I'm on the Heineken this week. Few things to get through today. Excuse me, I just need to clean. You don't really see me off like this, do you? Yes. Yeah. There you go. Normal service has been resumed. Yes, a few things to get through tonight. So we'll start off in the time-honoured tradition of seeing who was first in. And I noticed we're a little bit thinner on the ground today. Understandable, because it's the last Friday before Christmas, and I expect many people are either frantically kind of traipsing around some out-of-town shopping precinct, or they're out on the beer. I see we've got Terry Day, who's first in, then Rent to Kill. Terry, what are you saying there, Terry? Any thoughts on the Fender Triplecaster? I don't know what the Fender Triplecaster is. I've been kind of nose to the grindstone all week. I haven't sort of been plugged into the guitar YouTube world. Fender brought out a new model. I assume they have. Then we've got Rent to Kill, Dave Fiendish, Johnny Random. Theme Tunes is in, so is Cylon Hybrid, Bald 64. Mickey Walnuts, who can't join us live. I've got some big parties booked at the restaurant. As I was just saying, it's the last Friday before the big festivities, isn't it? Then we've got Mark Kerno, Joe McMoney, Peter SPFY Guitars, Ian Clark, John Mack, and Grandpa Joe. As always, wishing us everyone a happy and healthy, blessed Christmas and New Year. Thank you, John, for a fun-filled year of videos and Friday's beer o'clock. My pleasure, mate. You see this? This is what you call living the dream. Then there's Rent to Kill, Robert Z, or Z, tick one box only. We've got Stephen Hedger, we've got Peter Nicholson, Jed Ellis, Ben Allmark, David James, Malcolm Thompson, Nathan, and Johnny D. There's 60s man, Dr. Gomez, and David Evans. We got Marcel Koenigs. Who else? We've got Blue Sofa Songs. Tell you what, mate, let me... just because you've got a YouTube channel, haven't you? So let me just do the necessary. I can make you a mod as soon as I get the YouTube side of things open. I'll carry on reading out. Then we've got Ian Mason, Doc Alders, Paul Trainer, BSC, Phil, who's just popping in to say Merry Christmas, folks. Hope you're all doing great. Likewise, mate, hope all is well in Phil's world. Then we've got Austin Barrett, Grumpy Horse, Calby and the Rocco Cat, Stevie Mack. We've got session guitar legend Gary Shaw and local boy Colin Falcon. There's Robert Forsyth, and who else have we got? We've got Chris Ottewell and Sam's Budget Guitars. There's Triple Distilled, with something that I think many people will be saying this evening. Indeed, I certainly plan on being in that kind of state by the time my head hits the pillow later. We got Ravensmead. Have I said Sam's Budget Guitars? Yes, I have, but I've just said it again. Mr. Chris 5254 is in, so is Brad Dowell, Zen234, and Dudley Squat. There's Jay Ao Young and Searching for Tone. And Paul Trainor, you just super chatted me. Thank you so much, mate. I appreciate it. It doesn't go unnoticed, Paul Trainor. Every week, a couple of quid from your wallet to mine. It is massively appreciated, mate. And that goes for everyone who is very generous with their tips, shall we say. Let me just add Blue Sofa Songs to give him a mod status. Where's he gone? Can't find you, mate. It's always difficult to find somebody on the YouTube chat than it is on the You don't seem to be showing up on the YouTube side of things, mate. I can't see you anyway. I'll have a look later when I'm done with this. Who else have we got? We got Robbie F. We've got Krista Osterlund and Peter Nicholson. Never let the wife buy beer. It's slightly cheaper if she does it. You see, it works out cheaper for me. So there you go. We've got Graham Campbell, we've got Peter Hall, and anyone else that I've missed. Maria Muggs Davis, J. Au Young, Chris Smith, Les Hewitt, Tom Clark, and we've got David Cairns. We've got Ian Mason. Oh, it's a Jack White tribute guitar. That'll be the triple caster. Well, I mean, if you're a White Stripes or Jack White fan, then I suppose you'd be interested, but it doesn't float my boat, shall we say. That music isn't really for me. It floats my boat a little bit more than sort of electronic dance music, techno cobblers, but he's not one of my favourite players. Oh, I see we've got my pal Steve Cassidy in there. How are you, mate? Don't forget Steve's video straight after this, which I think it's a gig vlog today. By the way, Steve, I was watching your live on Catch Up this morning, and you were having some issues with, clearing your throat. I suffer from a similar thing. So I don't know how this fits with your vegan diet, mate, but an effective remedy that I find is a dessert spoonful of the poshest honey you can find in your local health food emporium. That really does. It puts like a lovely coating on your pipes, and it seems to alleviate the symptoms greatly. As I say, I don't know if that is something that you feel able to do given your life choices, but it's out there as a possible solution. Then we've got anyone else that I've missed? We've got Budget Pedal Chap. Nice one, mate. Nice to see you in here. We've got Triple X Paps and Blue Sofa Songs. Right, so see if I can find you on the YouTube side of things. Still can't. Oh, there he is. Right, okay. Add as moderator. Managing moderator, right? Blue Sofa Songs, you have mod status. You can put your link in the chat now, should you so desire. We've got Farjon, we've got Sir Bald and Snarky, we've got what are you saying there, Steve? Seven Nation Armies managed to achieve Smoke on the Water status for starting guitar. I reckon pretty amazing. Yes, I have a video coming up in the new year based upon the riff from Smoke on the Water. I'm just trying to think of a way of how I can, because there's an important lesson about riff writing that you can learn from certain riffs, and Smoke on the Water riff is one of them, probably the best example of it. And I'm trying to figure out a way of how do I make the video and not get it demonetized by actually playing the Smoke on the Water riff. So, watch this space on that one. Who else we got? We've got Robin Fawcett and Graham Campbell is saying Manuka honey from Aldi is good and about £4. Yep. So there you go. I think that's everyone. Yes, here we are. Friday once again, and time for a beer. So let's talk about what's coming up on the channel in the coming week. A bit less than usual, it has to be said, but we'll get to that. Sunday's video is, you can see two guitars, one either side of my bald head on the back wall there. The red Classic Vibe Squire Strat and the lovely Sunburst Nashville Telecaster. And I always used to say when I didn't have a Strat that, well, I don't really need one because I've got the Nashville Telecaster. I'm going to be putting that to the test on Sunday, a side-by-side comparison between those two guitars. Basically, did I waste my money buying a Strat when I already had the Nashville Telecaster, which is the best of both worlds? I think I'd call that the Fender Greatest Hits guitar in a video not so long ago. Is that close enough to a Strat that you don't need a Strat? We'll be finding out on Sunday. Then on Monday, I shall be unveiling this year's Christmas offering. Little piece of music I've put together for the festive period. It's not released as a single this year. If you want to raise money for Zoe's Place, then go and check out last year's offering featuring myself and Steve Cassidy and the Lamb, our sort of rocked up version of Jingle Bells, which raised quite a bit of money for Zoe's Place last year. And it was such a success that I just thought, how do I try and top that? Blue Sofa Songs, You Are a Gentleman, Sir. I've put the link for my Christmas song on my channel. Maybe Christmas. Please be nice to me, fellow Fatcasters. Go over and check out Blue Sofa Songs offerings after this. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the tip. Where was I? Yes, I couldn't decide which Christmas song to do this year, so I did like a Stars on 45, if anyone remembers that, if anyone's old enough to remember the early 80s. A Stars on 45 compendium of Christmas tunes, and you'll find out what they are on Monday. Then on Tuesday, Christmas Eve, no less, I have the best gear that I've reviewed all year. Just kind of a retrospective look back at 2024, where I'm going to be talking about my favourite gear that I've reviewed this year. And that is the end of the regular run of videos for 2024. I will be doing a Christmas Day live stream at 1 p.m. UK time on Christmas Day. So if you're around for that, feel free to join us for an hour or thereabouts to have a beer and talk about swap notes on what Santa brought us. You can wear your silly Christmas jumper. I don't have one of those. I don't have my Fatcaster shirt tonight either because it's in the laundry basket at the moment. Sorry, I got me laundry timings wrong. But just turn up on Christmas Day if you're at a loose end at 1 p.m. UK time, and we'll have a chat and we'll have a beer. Usual sort of format, really, as in no format at all. Just a bit loose, kind of beery chat, basically. What's wrong with that? Isn't that what you're supposed to do on Christmas Day? Then nothing until no live stream next Friday. I'm going radio silent until the 2nd of January. It's the one bit of time off that I get every year, and I intend to just relish it. I'll be watching a load of classic old films like probably The Guns of Navarone and Die Hard and The Magnificent Seven. These are all Christmas films to me. These are all Christmas movies because when I was a kid in the 70s, there'd always be a big feature film on TV on either Christmas Day or Boxing Day, and it would always be something like that. So, you get to a certain vintage, and Christmas becomes a big nostalgia fest. Hence why I'll be watching, films like that. Probably a couple of Morecambe and Wise Christmas specials, probably the Father Ted Christmas special as well, and, diving headlong into a tub of Quality Street with a beer in one hand and me vape in the other. So that's what I'm going to be doing for 9 whole days. And, so I'm taking 9 days off. from doing YouTube, but that doesn't mean there's 9 days less work to do. So, I've been beavering away like a man possessed recently, hence why I haven't heard of that Fender triple caster. I shall have to look it up and see what it is. So anyway, Steve Entwistle saying Von Ryan's Express does it for me. Yeah, that's a good one. Out of all of those kind of cheesy late 60s into early 70s, Second World War movies, I would have to say it has to be Where Eagles Dare. Broadsword calling Danny Boy. Broadsword calling Danny Boy. What's the other famous line from that film? Sit down, Colonel. If you've never seen the film, you won't have a clue what I'm talking about, but I'm assuming most of you have. And if you haven't, if you want to watch Clint Eastwood shooting bad guys with a machine gun that never runs out of bullets, ever, then go and watch Where Eagles Dare. It's just utter hokum, but fantastic fun. Jay Ao Young will be watching the Godfather trilogy again. Balder64 saying, seems strange to think of Die Hard as being an old film, even though it's 36 years old. Yeah, some of us are old enough to remember that being in the cinema. It's still a great film, mate. It's still, and I think the real star of that movie, the more I watch it, because I watch it pretty much every year, is Alan Rickman. He was just the archetypal British Hollywood villain, wasn't he? Triple Distiller saying The Great Escape and Ice Station Zebra, a good pair of choices, mate. What else have I missed? I'm missing me vape. Rent a Kill saying, I think I would have had a few beers by then. Yes, well, I'm going to try and take it easy on Christmas morning, which is why I've got a shed full of relatively weak beer, so you can, I can quaff it without kind of risking any internet faux pas on the live stream. Let's have a look. Stephen Edge is saying, just had a look at the new Triplecaster. Looks like Fender have had a bit of a meltdown on this one. Well, yeah, it's a Jack White guitar, isn't it? And he is. If anybody's going to be weird for the sake of weird, it's going to be Jack White. James Falconer is saying, on Christmas Eve it will be 8 years since we lost the great Rick Parfitt. Yeah, that was that brutal year. It was 2016 or thereabouts, wasn't it, when we lost, around that period, we lost Debbie Reynolds and Carrie Fisher, we lost Lemmy, we lost who else, David Bowie, or Bowie, depending on how you pronounce it. Rick Parfitt went about then. It was just, there was just a bit of a cull round about then, wasn't it, of iconic rock stars. It's weird when, I remember when David Bowie died, it was like, yeah, but he's David Bowie. Like the laws of physics don't apply to him. It just you think of these people as being, kind of immortal and there forever, but they are just, I suppose, flesh and blood like all of us. And 107. Oh yes, we're back up to our normal sort of numbers. 179. It says on my little counter here. Thank you everybody for turning up. And so, as I say, most people would be out in some crowded pub on a freezing high street, paying thick end of £5 a pint for a beer on such an occasion, the last weekend before Christmas. But no, you've all kind of decided to come and listen to a fat bald northern bloke talk absolute cobblers for an hour. Just want to say another thank you actually as well, because I've just got some notes down here. Steve Cassidy. I know I meant to mention it last week because you'd said it on your live stream last week that you now think of my intro music in the same way as the Coronation Street theme tune, or the EastEnders theme tune, or just any kind of familiar kind of TV theme tune that just gets so imprinted in your brain that you associate it with being part of your day, or I think it was something like that you said. I'm not sure whether it was meant as a compliment or not, but I'm going to assume that it was, and thank you very much, mate. I am quite pleased with that theme tune, and I've been thinking, have I been letting it, should I refresh it? Should I do a new version of it? Or let me know in the chat. Do you want me to redo the theme tune? Is it getting a bit stale? Is it getting a bit, past its sell-by? Let me know in the chat, because it was a fun thing putting it together. Steve Cassidy saying, no worries, 100% a compliment. I thought it was, mate. But cheers. Anyway, right, I've got to go through the complicated process of... I should have really kind of just refilled when I wasn't quite so near the bottom, shouldn't I? But let's see. Once again, ridiculous. Let's see. This the first kind of pour was a little bit anti-flake. It was a bit... that's not taking a head at all, which is probably better than having a glass full of foam. I'll settle with that for now. It's near enough the top that I don't need to worry too much about it. Do a reggae version, says Blue Sofa Songs. How many mils is that, says Jay Ao Young? I don't know. It's 330, mate. 330 mils. Too small to flake. New songwriting next year, John. Well, yes, and I've just this week done the podcast for the Patreon supporters, which I know there are many of those lovely people in tonight. And in that podcast, I talk about some of my New Year resolutions, and I don't think it's giving too much away to say that I'm going to start work on a new album in 2025. It's like, well, I can either do a new album or I can keep up the YouTube side of things, because the YouTube thing really does sort of satisfy the creative urge in me. It really does, sort of scratch that itch of coming up with a finished product that I can show to the world, as it were. So I thought, well, I haven't got time to do that and do an album. But then it occurred to me, and I don't know why it didn't sort of dawn on me earlier, well, why not combine the two? So there's going to be a series of videos that will probably end up in the Wednesday slot in 2025, where I'm documenting the writing and recording of a new album. The only kind of kink that I haven't ironed out yet is, well, in those Wednesday videos, I like to have a tab or a jam track or something like that to put up on Patreon as a bonus content for the people who support me there. So I'm just trying to think, well, if by the end of that video I've got a half-written song, how do I kind of then give something like that away? I've got to work out what sort of Patreon content I can generate from such videos. So I've got my thinking cap on in relation to that. But yes, there will be a new John Robson album coming out and hitting Spotify and Apple Music and Amazon and Google Play and Deezer and all of the usual download and streaming sites at some point in 2025. I've also got to get the melodic rock lead guitar book finished. The text is finished. I've just got to find time to record and edit and mix and tab out all of the music for that book, which is something of a mountain to climb. And I've got to try and be strict with myself on that and just not say, oh, well, I'll do that next week, and keep on putting it off. So, yeah, watch this space on that one. But I definitely want to get that book finished by by late spring or early summer. So if I can kind of just break it up into little chunks and try and crank that out. But yes, a new John Robson album where I will be documenting the songwriting, composition and recording process of that album. Watch out for that series in 2025. Just tab what's in the video, John. Don't give it all away. Well, what I'm thinking is I might give away, when the album is finished, I might give away the album and some merch of some description to all of my Patreon supporters. I'm thinking that might be a way of doing it. So I've got. Don't be surprised, by the way, if many of the tracks on the new album bear a striking resemblance to some of the Guitar Gear demos that you've heard me do in recent months and years, because a lot of those, I'm not going to kind of spill the beans on which ones, but a lot of those I thought, I quite like that. I could develop that into a full tune, but definitely there will be, some of the ideas that have been in those demos, which I can, to give you something of a perspective on this, on the Sunday videos where there's the guitar demo comparison shootout kind of thing, I can usually have one of those tracks done in a morning, okay? From thinking, right, I need a chord sequence, I need a riff, I need a melody, and to getting it all kind of finished, mixed, edited together. If I start that at 7:30 on a morning, by maybe 12 p.m., 12 noon or 1 o'clock, the entire piece of music can be finished, mixed, edited, and done. So, if I'm thinking, well, allow myself a couple of days to to kind of work on it properly and finesse it and come up with something that's a little bit less formulaic each time, then maybe I can develop those ideas a little bit further. What else have I missed? Maria Muggs Davies, weather alert. A gust of African lynx due to hit the country on Christmas Day. Oh, yes. I'll tell you what it is. I used to teach guitar in a couple of local secondary schools. And, all of the young teenage, like the spotty youths, used to absolutely reek of Lynx kind of body spray. They used to, any time there were, there's some girls over there, let's walk over that side of the schoolyard. Because if you believe the advertising, it made you irresistible to the female of the species. All the Jack the lads in the schools would always kind of douse themselves in that. Old Spice, says Tom. Yeah, it's the modern equivalent of Old Spice, isn't it? That was always the eau de cologne of choice for. Well, it wasn't really my generation; it was my dad's generation that used to do the old and the Brute 33. Remember Henry Cooper in those ads? Splash it all over. Yes. Now there's some Christmas advert memories for you, for those of us old enough. I'm not creative is saying Lynx body spray is Axe everywhere else. Yes, well, they do that, don't they? They brand things like different names in different countries. Like the rest of the world for years has had a candy bar called Snickers, right? And up until about the late 80s, early 90s, it was Marathon in the UK. It was the same branding and everything, just a different word, Marathon. And I still think of it as a marathon bar. But there you go. Where are we? Hi karate, says Malcolm Spillett. Indeed, yes. I remember the adverts well. You couldn't run those adverts now, could you? Saying, well, they're probably up on YouTube if you're curious. Graham Campbell, I have an 18-year-old and a 14-year-old. Our house is going to be like a chemical attack on Christmas Day. Yes, indeed. For years, I know it seems probably a bit, I'm going to go to the viewers' guitars in a moment, but for years I had long hair and a big, full face, like proper Grizzly Adams beard, and every year people would buy me aftershave. It's like, what's that? But have you noticed now all of the before I go to the viewers' guitars? Have you noticed all of the male aftershave adverts on TV nowadays? That they've always got like a ruggedly handsome male model in them. I mean, something like this basically. But the bloke who's advertising the aftershave always has a beard, and I'm thinking, what? Anyway, shall we take a little bit of a look at the viewer guitar picks that have been sent in this week, starting with this one, which I'll just queue up. There it is. And here we go. So I need to hit that button, share screen, and then from there I need to... which one? Excuse me just a second. Yes, here we go. This is the one. Sorry, computer says no. Here we go. Right, so what we have here is a Beatle bass, no less. This belongs to, you can probably tell from the keyboard and set up in the corner there, the signature setup of Mr. Chris 5254. Now, why won't you let me zoom in on this? I don't know why that's not letting me zoom in, but it isn't. I can't remember what brand that is. I think, is it a Harley Benton or is it... no, it's a Shine, isn't it? Yeah, I remember you telling me now. A Shine Beatle bass. And yeah, you said in the email that every lefty needs one of these. Never played one of those. Never played one. But, maybe I'll change that one day. Anyway, what we've got next? Cal B's T-Style. This was a gift from, an acquaintance of his that sent him this. As you probably know, Cal B is like Mr. Chris, a bit of a southpaw when it comes to guitars. So this was just an unexpected and very pleasant surprise, much like the vintage V75 Telecaster style guitar that I got, which was an unexpected and very pleasant surprise from a lovely chap called Jim. Then another one from Mr. Chris. This is his Laney Ironheart stack. Now, Chris, you claimed in your email that this is a valve amp. And is it really? I mean, it's got some glowing lights in there. But does anyone know? I'm skeptical whether this is a valve amp or not. I looked it up on the internet, and it doesn't say it isn't, but it doesn't say that it is either. I'm just skeptical that something this size, which looks like one of those kind of those little Marshall little kind of clip-on belt amps, the ones I mean. That was. It looks about the same size as one of those. It's just, I'm skeptical that it is a valve amp. I'm prepared to be wrong, but if anyone knows, please put it in the chat and I'll see when I come back to the main screen. What else have we got? This is one of David Roberts' acoustics, a Line 6 Variax 700. I'd forgotten that they'd done like an acoustic version of the Variax kind of series of guitars. So presumably this can sound like anything from, a J200 to a Martin Dreadnought to possibly a nylon string classical and some sort of resonator, I would imagine, capturing all of the acoustic tones in one instrument. Then we've got Pablo Hank's Faith Venus guitar. Lovely looking thing. These were designed. Were they designed and built, or just designed by the legendary Patrick Eggle? But when you can just look at something and just think, yeah, that oozes quality, doesn't it? It's simple, it's understated, but it's just got that extra something that makes you think, yes, quality product. Beautiful looking acoustic, mate. Congratulations on owning such a thing. Then another one from Pablo Hank, his JJ Dual guitar. JJ are a brand I'd never really hadn't really been on my radar, but that looks pretty damn nice, doesn't it? It's like sort of distilled essence of electric guitar. You know, kind of wraparound bridge, couple of P90s, boom, there you go. You know, again, quality product. You know, it just look. You know, you're going to pick that guitar up and go, oh yes, oh this is nice. And another one from Pablo Hank. I recognise that guitar. I used to have one very much like it. The PRS S2 Standard 24 Satin. My favourite PRS that I'd ever owned up until that point. I don't know that the CE is perhaps a contender. I really love that CE 24. The tragedy of this was that when my finger got busted, and then in the recovery process, you know, with my finger the way it is now, that neck was just a little bit too kind of tight for me to play comfortably on. But beautiful guitar. It was a guitar I was sorry to see go, and it wouldn't have gone if it hadn't been a necessity. Then, yes, indeed, a Sire Larry Carlton T7. You know what? If they did a fixed bridge version of that, do they do a fixed bridge version of that? I'm not sure. And, you know, if it had stainless steel frets, it looks like my old Harley Benton Fusion T, doesn't it? You know, that I had, and a certain other guitar that I used to have that we don't talk about anymore. But, you know, gosh, that's a gorgeous looking thing, isn't it? That is absolutely stunning. You know, find a bad review of a Sire guitar. They're just fantastic guitars. I might be tempted in the next 12 months. Let's see. Then from Stephen Hedger, a parts caster. I love it when you do this, by the way. I'm not saying it's, you know, that if it's a hassle for you to do it, then, you know, it's a necessity, but it really does make my life easier when you put these little text boxes in here. This is my latest parts caster build. It's a 60s style hybrid with a roasted maple neck and Jose Domingo hand-wound pickups. Lovely looking thing. And I believe there's another one here. Oh, yes. Yeah, you've got to love a red Stratocaster, haven't you? Another recent parts caster build, a 62 Strat clone with licensed Fender replacement all parts neck and vintage voice pickups. And what Stephen also says in the email that accompanied these pictures is that both of those guitars have a blend control, so you can bring in the neck pickup on, especially, which is useful, especially on the bridge. It's just another way of taming the kind of brittle, harsh spikiness of the bridge pickup. Some lovely guitar pictures there, folks. Thank you once again for, you know, sending them all in. If you have pictures of guitars, or it doesn't have to be guitars. It could be a bass. It could be your pedal board. It could be your entire rig. You know, anything that you use to make music with, and you're thinking, I'd like to share that with the lads, then send the pictures to me, jrguitartuition@gmail.com. I might do a special kind of viewers gear kind of section in the new year, where you can show me all of your Christmas gifts. You know, all the stuff all the guitar related stuff that Santa brought you for Christmas. And, you know, but when we get to January and Christmas is just a sort of befuddled, hungover memory, and then you look at your credit card bill and you think, oh no, right? I tell you what it is, right? January, the coldest, dankest, darkest, most dismal, most skint month of the year. And there are those people out there say, oh, try doing dry January. Yeah, you want me to get through the most miserable month of the year, which coincidentally for me is also when my tax bill lands. And you want me to do that without the benefit of alcohol? Good luck with that one. Blue Sofa Songs is... sorry, lefty pick. Put you on screen there. Didn't mean to. Blue Sofa Songs is saying, does anyone know what setup Status Quo used? I'm sure I saw a bank of Marshalls topped with Voxes. Yeah, that's a good question. There was always a wall of Marshalls behind them, but then sometimes you saw them with a wall of AC30s. I'm not entirely sure, mate. I don't know is the short answer, but I'm sure the internet will furnish the information. Excuse me a sec. I just need to replenish the fuel tank, and then we're going to head. I'm going to catch up with the chat a little bit, and then we're going to head headlong into viewers' stories. The Jackanory. I should do like a Jackanory kind of intro piece for this, seeing as how we seem to have got rid of the freezing problem. Oh, now look at that. Look at that. Take a photograph of that one. That's not a bad pour at all, is it? I gauged it absolutely perfectly for when to hit the top up. Richard Clark is saying you might ask Lammy about the Status Quo setup. He's done some work with them. I didn't know that. I didn't know he was that well connected. Congratulations, Lammy. Pablo Hank is saying the Faith acoustics were just designed by Patrick Eggle, but he did do some boutique versions of them himself. Yes. That's another guitar I need to check out. It's one of the new Patrick James Eggle guitars, but I'll have to sell a kidney on the dark web first. Craig Staмен's in. How are you, mate? Sorry I'm late tonight, but I now have a beer, so it's all good. Cheers. And James Falconer, interesting, mate. Status Quo has a fake wall of Marshalls, but really used Vox. I didn't know that. I knew that Vox, it was either Vox or Marshall or a mix of the both. I suppose that backdrop of a wall of Marshall amps, I'm sure we've all seen the picture that you can find with a relatively easy Google image search of the view of a band from sort of the side of the stage where it looks like they're playing through a wall full of Marshalls, but it's just like, kind of a facade, and they're probably, plugged into an Axe FX or a Kemper or something. Jay Aoyong, what you saying there, mate? 330ml cans are the standard in my country, but they look so tiny in your hands. Yes, it's a thimble. That's not a proper can of beer, for God's sake. It's just wrong on every level. What else have I missed? And then we'll get into viewers' tales. It's a good one this week. Michael Purcell is saying, does that include self-bought presents? It can be, mate. Yeah, nothing wrong with buying a present for yourself. What else have I missed? Jim, did you or Jim hear any more about the stolen guitar? I did look on eBay, Gumtree, etc., but sadly nothing. I'll keep looking for you both. Thank you for bringing that up, Rent to Kill. Yes, I made a bit of a boo-boo. The guitar has gone missing. The guitar has been, I would bet next year's takings on it, that it's been stolen. And I asked Jim for some photographs of the guitar, including the serial number, and I got an email back from him with those photographs that I showed you last week. But I should have done more than just skim read the email, because what it turns out is that the photos that he sent me were of his identical guitar, and the serial number was the one on his guitar. Unfortunately, he didn't fully remember that the serial number of the guitar that went walkabout, and so just disregard the serial number that I gave you last week. But there is, if you know someone who has come into recently an unexpected vintage V6 Strat copy in Laguna Blue with a rosewood fretboard, and they're a little bit cagey about how they got it, then yes, treat that person with suspicion. I should have read the email more fully and in more detail, so I apologise for that. I know I did kind of bang on at some length because I thought that was the actual serial number of the missing guitar. Turns out it wasn't, but that guitar, that vintage V6 Strat copy in Laguna Blue, is definitely a guitar which has gone, it's basically been stolen. So, yes. There you go. So no updates, and it is one of those things that, it rankles against your inbuilt sense of fair play. It certainly does for me, but you have to be pragmatic and live in the real world and think, yeah, it's like a trip to the dentist or a tax bill. It's just one of those unavoidable, unpleasant things that life throws at you from time to time. So, yeah. There you go. Anyway, shall we take a little bit of a look at this week's, where's it gone, Viewers' Tales thing here? This one comes from Mr. Chris, stalwart of this parish. So he was saying, back in the mid-70s, I played the organ in a working men's club in Newcastle. I use the term working men's very loosely. I know what you mean, mate. Yes. There are some communities round here where, people will just quite happily, draw the old Nat King Cole, the dole, and their entire existence is about being, their sense of worth is fulfilled by becoming a committee man on the club, and that makes you a somebody in that town. Anyway, I digress. Anyway, picture the scene. Saturday night, the concert room filling, bingo tickets clutched in their hand, bar staff filling the chiller, mainly with Newcastle Brown, drummer again loosely, and myself waiting for the concert chairman's brief. No dots for you, lads. Group on tonight. Let me just translate that. In this part of the world, often the entertainment in a social club is provided by an organist and a drummer who will provide backing for a guest singer. Okay, and the guest singer brings the dots, as in the music notation, and some of these working men's club and social club musicians, they are absolutely fantastic sight readers, and they've got to be able to play anything from the latest top 40 hits to the Tennessee Waltz. Anyway, I digress. So that's the setup. You're playing organ and there's a drummer there, and you just get provided the sheet music, and you're doing whatever the visiting singer is doing. So it's he says, no dots for you lads tonight. Group on tonight. Just play before the bingo and in between. Suits me. Anyway, the band starts carting in their gear, and there's a lot of it. Scruffy bunch, but a nice bunch of lads. The gear was top of the range. We introduce ourselves to the singer, and he says, I'm off for a pint. Behind me, there's the singer. He says, buy me a pint, I'll pay you back when we pick up. Again, another translation, right? There are two types of gig in this part of the world. There are pickups, where you get paid on the evening from the concert secretary or the concert chairman, and there are no pickups where you wait till the end of the month and you get your money through your agent. Okay? He says, buy me a pint, and I'll pay you back when we pick up. And can I scrounge your smoke? The lads were very good and loud. After the second 45-minute set, they were off. They were Geordie, a local Gateshead band. The singer, Brian Johnson. He never did pay me back for the bottle of brown ale or the smoke. This club never did pickups. Yes, so that's a familiar story to me, because I remember, many a time we've limped the van to the gig on the last thimbleful of diesel, And, it's all right, we'll fill up on the way home. It's a pickup tonight. We'll get paid on the night. And then the concert chairman says, oh, sorry, lads, this club never does pickups. No, you'll have to see your agent at the end of the month if you want, and you'll get paid then. So, yes, that's a situation I've been in many times. Some more comments here about Jay Aoyong is saying, why is there not any accountability at the parcel company? Because if you could prove that it had been stolen, but, it's just circumstantial, isn't it? And they're just going to deny it and say, error, whatever, claim on your insurance. But you try insuring a guitar to send through a courier company. Yeah, good luck with that one. Jay Aoyong, what you saying there, mate? Oh, yeah, I've read that out already. Cylon Hybrid is saying, stolen guitars are in the economy. I was once in a shop, a Transit turned up with 20 Fender Strat Plus. Money changed hands and they said, we can change colours on 15. Yeah, that's scumbaggery, isn't it? That's just when the shop is complicit as well. Austin Barrett is saying, John, I think that guitar is gone. It's not like the old days when I got my guitar back. It's a bigger world now. Yeah, it is. I still maintain that the vast majority of people are decent, honest, law-abiding people. The reason why, a story of such skullduggery and scumbaggery is, so shocking is because it is so rare. It's if it were the norm, it wouldn't be shocking. If it was just something that was just part of the background noise, it wouldn't be something that we commented on and were surprised at and shocked at. Where are we? Lefty Pick is saying sight reading is like trying to learn what? That word that I can't. No, I'm not. I'm not going to even try and. Is that word looks like a bad hand at Scrabble, especially when you are 18. Yes, sight reading is particularly difficult. As I was having this conversation on a video that went out on Steve Cassidy's channel a while back with old grey guitarist John Wines, and if you're a piano player, it's easy. Middle C happens once, right in the middle of the keyboard. That's why it's called middle C. On a guitar, it happens in 5 different places around the fretboard. So, it's a little bit difficult to orientate yourself. Oh, Lammy, thank you so much, mate. You're a gentleman, sir. Just got in from the works Christmas lunch. Cheers. That must have been some long lunch, mate. Well done. Tom Clark saying Border Force stole my AliExpress guitar. Well, yes. Serves you right for buying a forgery, mate. Michael Purcell is saying, could it be somewhere in the delivery warehouse? Might get it after Christmas. No, that's the full story is that Parcel Force, the courier company, is saying that the guitar has been returned to its sender. And the sender saying, no, it isn't because it hasn't been returned to me. And they're saying, well, you're not the sender. It came from Amazon. So somebody has logged it on the system as being sent back to Amazon. And Amazon are unresponsive when it comes to inquiries in that direction. So it's obviously been just sort of loaded into the boot of someone's car and filched, basically, and they know how to work the system to make it just disappear and fall through the cracks. Someone has, anyway. Where are we? Let's be honest, if you was offered a piece of beef or lamb in the pub cheap, your Sunday dinner, you mean if somebody was kind of saying, do you want to buy some cheap? No, it's because I mean, I'm not sitting in judgment here. It's like I had a guy come round to me years ago. This was when I lived in a particularly rough part of Middlesbrough. For any Teesside lads out there, I used to live in a place called Grove Hill. Oh yes, there will be some people wincing at that reference. But, I had some guy turn up and he was trying to sell me a Fender Stratocaster and a Fender twin reverb amp and a bunch of pedals out the back of a van because he knew I was the guy in the neighbourhood who played guitar. And I just said, no, but I know a guy who you can probably sell them to. And I gave them the phone number and address of the local music shop, because I knew that they were pretty straight up and they would just, not play ball. Peter Nicholson saying it's all rough in Middlesbrough. Colin Falcon saying, Grove Hill, if you don't have a weapon when you move in, they give you one. Yes, indeed. It is that kind of place. I used to live, let's get really nerdy Teesside here. I used to live just near the Palladium shops on Bishopton Road. Oh, dear me. Bandit country. Yeah, I suppose that tale of the missing guitar is, there is a cautionary tale in that. Get one of those ultraviolet pens and put your name and address on the guitar in said colour, so it can only be seen under black light. And I know the serial numbers of every guitar in this room for precisely that. But after that, the thing last week, I went around all my guitars and made notes of the serial numbers. So, yeah, it's a lesson learned, I think. Let's see what else we've got in the final dying moments of the game. John Max saying, inside job indeed, mate. Anything else? We're still talking about lamb's lunch, 3 courses with all the trimmings. Yes. Anything else to talk about? I think that's pretty much proceedings at a close for today. I'll let you all kind of recharge your glasses and head off over to Steve Cassidy's channel for his gig vlog that's going out in just over a minute's time. And I'll see you all on Christmas Day at 1 p.m. UK time, or as many of you as can be bothered to turn up. Thank you, each and every one. Oh, thank you, in the dying seconds. Donald DeMille, Merry Christmas from the state of Georgia. January Beer Fund Kickstarter. Sir, you are a gentleman and a scholar. Many, many thanks. Have a happy Christmas. Have a fantastic New Year, everyone. I'll see you Christmas Day, 1 p.m. UK time. But for now, it's been a blast, as always, and I'll keep on doing it till you're sick of me. But for now, time, gentlemen, please.